You're watching Pulse for the 12th of September, and it's time for some World of Warcraft news. In this week's episode, we take a look at Blizzard's claims that they'll release 6 titles over the next 3 years, some pretty interesting patch 4.2 hotfixes, a few tier previews and retrospectives, the latest Dev Watercooler or Coffee with the Devs post, and more. Let's get started. In quite a big piece of general Blizzard-related news, Thomas Tippel, the COO of Activision Blizzard, recently spoke at the City 2011 Technology Conference. He mentioned that Blizzard are set to release 6 proven property titles over the next 3 years. He did say what they would be. 2 of these will be World of Warcraft expansion packs, 2 of them StarCraft 2 titles, which would probably be the next 2 StarCraft expansions, and 2 Diablo titles, obviously the first being Diablo 3 and the second being Diablo 3's first expansion, which we have absolutely no details about just yet. That's good and all, and I would love to see that many games in the next 3 years, but one thing that got a lot of people wondering was why Titan wasn't mentioned. Well, I think the main reason that people are saying is that it's not a proven property. It's definitely not the Diablo, Warcraft or StarCraft franchises, but it could well still launch in the next 3 years. Who knows? That leaked product schedule from a while back did pin it for the end of 2013, so I guess it is possible. So, 2 more World of Warcraft expansions and a Diablo 3 expansion? We don't know anything about those yet, but hopefully Blizzard will shine some light on all of this at BlizzCon this year. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I have to mention that this was the Activision Blizzard COO that said all of this, and Blizzard, meanwhile, issued another statement saying that they haven't made any announcements in regards to their plans yet, but they are just currently focused on getting the next content update for World of Warcraft Cataclysm out, releasing Diablo 3 and continuing development on Heart of the Swarm. So I guess the Blizzard guys are not quite as keen as the Activision guys to commit to anything just yet. Regardless of that, let me know what you think about it below. Do you think we'll be seeing 6 games in the next 3 years? It sounds like a long shot, but it could well happen. Now in our World of Warcraft news, first up we've got some patch 4.2 hotfixes. There were 2 sets of these, one for September the 9th and one for September the 8th. There were a couple of smaller changes here, but there was one that definitely stole the show. Ragnaros's health has been reduced by 15% and the melee damage of Molten Elementals was reduced by about 25% on heroic difficulty. That's pretty huge. Ragnaros now has 74.2 million on 10 man, and on 25 man it's now 246.9 million, down from its former 290 million. That is an absolutely massive nerf, but as I said, that is pretty much the biggest and most important one to see there. You can check the full patch notes out below if you're interested. Patch 4.3 and our inevitable encounter with Deathwing is creeping closer and closer, and Blizzard have yet another preview up. Well, 2 actually. This time around, we're getting a look at the Tier 13 Warrior and Warlock sets. The Warrior set is titled Colossal Dragonplate and, as you can see, is inspired quite heavily by Deathwing. The Warlocks is titled Faceless Shroud and does also look pretty damn cool. Along with these, we get a visual retrospective of all the Warrior and Warlock sets that have come before, all the way from Tier 1 to Tier 12. I have no doubt that Blizzard will, in the coming weeks, be posting the rest of the classes' previews and retrospectives as well, so look forward to those in the next couple of episodes. Do you guys have any favorite sets from the lists that we've been given? A lot of people are saying that Blizzard has sort of lost their touch and that a lot of the new stuff past, say, Tier 10 just hasn't been looking as good. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but I will say that the new Tier 13 sets do indeed look impressive. So if you're keen to see what's coming or see what's already been, you can check those posts out below. Now let's have a look at the next Dev Watercooler or Coffee with the Devs post. This one is a little bit different. It focuses on how the World of Warcraft developers decide what needs to be changed in the game and when. He goes into a lot of detail here, and if you've ever had any interest in how game design works, the thought processes that go into keeping a game like World of Warcraft running as smoothly as it does, and everything else that's involved, then this one is definitely for you. You can check it out over at the official sites. It's titled Rate of Change. Now, before heading into the World of Warcraft smalls, the guys over at the Scrolls of Lore have an image gallery up of World of Warcraft pre-release. Yes, before World of Warcraft was out, we saw these screenshots and I remember them quite clearly. I just thought that you guys would like to see these because it's quite interesting how much the game has changed since these first shots. I will say that these did indeed look quite impressive for when they came out, and they definitely got me excited. You can check the full gallery out below, there are a ton of screenshots. Now let's check out the World of Warcraft smalls. First up, over at the official site, there are a couple of art gallery updates to have a look at. Blizzard have a new section up on their website dedicated to all their games' music. You can find all the World of Warcraft, StarCraft and Diablo soundtracks up on the website right now. The only sad part is you'd have to buy them if you want them for keeps. With patch 4.3 steadily approaching, Blizzard are looking for some class feedback. On both the EU and US forums, Blizzard are hoping to gain some insight. They want some information from you about how your class is functioning in both PvP and PvE. Then, there's an apparent MMR exploit that's helping arena teams reach pretty insane heights at the moment. The people have been spamming it all over Reddit to try get people to use it more so that Blizzard would fix it sooner. That's a very weird way of doing it, but you can check that out below if you're interested. The Harvest Festival has begun and you can check the usual Harvest Festival guide out over at Wowhead. Then, speaking of guides, Well Read, a guide to the Books of Azeroth, also from Wowhead. Then over at BlizzPlanet you can check out a review of the World of Warcraft book Wolfheart. The guys over at WoW Insider have a World of Warcraft trading card game preview for the Throne of the Tides. Right here on YouTube, you can have a look at the first boss of the patch 4.2 Legendary Staff questline, as seen through the eyes of Jesse from OMFG Catter's Guild. Then, How to Tell If Your Raid Will Wipe by WoW Krendor. That's some WoW machinima and it's really good. Last up, some solo videos. A Warlock has soloed Malagos, and a Death Knight has soloed Yogg-Saron +1 and Mimiron. That's it for the smalls, but sort of tying in with them, there are 1 or 2 blue posts linked below that you can check out if you're interested. They weren't that interesting, so I decided to omit them this time. But sadly, that's all the news I have for you this week. Remember to like the video, favorite it, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Check back here soon for more, and most importantly, happy 6 Blizzard games in the next 3 years.